Wow, I am live and I'm a little bit early. So I'm just going to talk a little bit because I know there's a time delay between me and what I hear and what you hear. So any minute now, either this is already streaming onto my Crystal Concentrics page on Facebook, or you are only arriving at it at 8 p.m., which is right now. So I'm in pretty good shape. I thought it would be a little longer process before the recording started. But here we are for episode number 6 of my Crystal Talk Show. We do have a chat box. I think it's over there based on where you're standing or looking at your screen. And if anyone wants to say hello, please do so. If you're from far away from me, I'm in Boston. Let me know where you are at. We're excited because it's been about 6 weeks. Hey, Alyssa's here, so that means we are in business. When the party don't start till Alyssa gets here. So I know it's working, and I know that you're here, and I'm really psyched for whoever is watching now live and whoever will be watching later on, because the replay is available through the same link. And we put out a lot of promotion about this, and we've had people sign up right from our website, crystalconcentrics.com. We've had people sign up through the Facebook event page, and we've also had people sign up through some Facebook advertising that we've done. Oh my goodness, we've got Texas in the house. We've got Sarah here, Sue. This is all very good. Sue, by the way, I made you a little video of a piece you were interested in. Those of you who have purchased from me before get to be in my secret crystal buyers group, where is the only place on social media that I post pricing. It's very handy because it's much more real time, and I can get you pictures and videos lickety split. It's a lot more complicated to get pieces up on my website, but I'm really excited because I'm working with a new team around getting items on and off my website, as well as eBay and Etsy. So I'm super excited. I've got a lot of news to share with you, but I want to just start by showing off a pendant that I got recently, which has been super energizing. It's a Moldavite pendant. Here it is. You can see it's got some incredible texture to it. And it's big. It's a very substantial piece. And the way to really show it off to you is going to be to, hold on a second, get my flashlight at work. So with the flashlight, I'm missing it. There we go. There we go. So I'm going to bring it right up close to the camera. And you can see all kinds of incredible detail on this amazing piece of Moldavite. Oh my gosh, I'm doing a terrible job of matching up the item and the light. Whew. It is so weird and disjointed the way that things look on the screen, and trying to reproduce it. But you get the general point. It goes from black to being a bright, extraordinary green. Alyssa is psyched to be back in the shop. Yeah, we were closed for 2.5 months. So it's super good news that we have people coming in again. And it's starting to feel like it's not just the regulars. We had some people online, people who were in touch with us right through the shutdown. But now we're starting to get like a new crop of people. And that's extra exciting. We had a weirdness that went down with the website saying that we were closed still from coronavirus. and I had asked one of my people to do it, and it took them a long time, and finally they did it. So everybody knows, and the websites are all up to date. We are back in business at the Portal Crystal Gallery in Arlington, Mass. If you're anywhere near, it's absolutely worth a visit. Now, I wanted to move on talking about the biggest news and the main reason why I had to postpone doing a talk show for 6 weeks. And frankly, I'm not in love with that time frame. 6 weeks seems like a long time to be away from you in this way. So I think I'm either going back to every 2 weeks or maybe every 3 weeks, so it doesn't seem so far in between the talk shows. Yes, thank you for the welcome back. Now, the reason why was not just because we were opening the store back up, which took a little bit of concentration, and I have to be in the store a lot of hours, although we are reduced in our hours from 1 till 4 p.m. instead of the usual spread that we used to offer before. But the second reason why I've been waiting to do this is that I've been working on my book. Anyone who doesn't know, I am writing a book about crystals, and I just met with my formatter, who is also a graphic designer. It turns out writing a book is a lot more complicated than I thought, and I'm actually working on a podcast that will be coming out next month, because this month, actually this weekend, I am doing a podcast release about my experience with Moldavite. I've been wanting to share with you a direct link that's not necessarily my YouTube video on the subject or the interview that I did with, oh my God, Alexis Brooks from Higher Journeys. I did a great interview with her about Moldavite, but now I've dedicated an entire podcast, which is also going to turn into a blog all about Moldavite, and that's coming out this month, July 2020. The good news about these talk shows is that even if you're not catching it live while it's happening, you will be able to enjoy it later, because we're going to be posting these on YouTube. And it turns out there's a new capability with this service that I'm using to simulcast to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So I'm really looking forward to giving that a go in August. So keep an eye out for that. I think we're going to be live on the air again in 3 weeks. Now, I wanted to do a little bit of show and tell. I'm going to start with this. This is a great big hematoid quartz. And I'll tell you, when I first came across this variety, it's basically a quartz whose fissures and natural cracks have been filled with iron, and that's what makes it red. I'll bring it up nice and close to you. You can see how incredibly wonderful it is. But I used to see it very faded, not really great pieces of it, and I was turned off by it because I believed that it felt more like an intrusion and a weakening of the quartz to have the hematoid stuff in betwixt and between all of its fissures. It felt like it was reducing its integrity in a way that symbolized for me unhealth. And so what I liked about this one is that it is so rich in its reds that there's no question that it is feeling kind of healthy. So I wanted to make sure to share that with you. Hey, Bill, how are you doing? I'm so glad that you're on the air. I'm wondering, Bill, if you could post our what is the word I'm looking for? Link to the meditation next week. I am doing an online meditation. I have also been taking a break from meditations, live meditations. I still offer meditations to my Crystals360 group and my Inner Circle group. I did a big reach out a month or so ago to people to come on in a sort of membership capacity. And what I realized is that most people are happier to connect with me more casually like this, or through the occasional meditation that I'm offering. And the people who really want to be on the inner circle, they'll reach out to me, and I'll let you know, if you're one of those people, what it would take to join one of my sort of ongoing teaching meditation discussion groups. We're doing everything online right now, but I'm looking forward to also booking a live in-person meditation soon. There's only going to be 3 or 4 people allowed, because we've got to keep that 6-foot distancing and wearing masks and all that good stuff. So I am looking forward to next week's meditation. If you're interested, definitely write me, or maybe even say something in the comments, because I'll be reviewing every single comment. So if I missed something that you asked me, then I'll have a chance to follow up on it afterwards. It's also easy for me to friend you if I don't know you, or for me to also send you a private message. So don't be shy. Make yourself known in the chat. And yes, Alyssa's telling us about her experience at the shop, which is very, very cool. I've been sort of rediscovering it myself. It was very odd and surreal on June 8th when I went to go open the curtains. I realized those curtains had not been opened in more than 2 months, which was very, very strange. So I want to get into actually our little meditation. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the talk show, I give you a little flavor of what the meditations, the full meditations, are like. Those go on for 30, 40 minutes. But we're going to do a little tiny meditation just for a few minutes. And we're going to do it with this particular beautiful Peruvian Rhodochrosite. Now, I was thinking about what stone I wanted to use for this meditation tonight, and I just walked by this. And Denise says the screen is frozen. It's not frozen for me, so I suggest you hit refresh on your browser and hope that it comes back. Hello, Maria. Welcome, welcome. We're about to get into our little bit of meditation. So I'm going to hold this up. How will I do that? Probably I'll just hold it like this so you can get a nice, good visual on it. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. And I myself am going to slow down my speech. And the reason I keep coming back to meditation in these talk shows is that, as exciting and fast-paced as they are, I want to remind you and remind myself that there's a quiet place within that you can go to simply by shutting your eyes, maybe picking up a favorite stone, slowing down your breathing. Let the exhalations take longer and the inhalations go deeper. And find yourself connecting to an inner space of safety and wellness, even if you have busy thoughts or pain. And then we want to introduce, as we always do, some stone energy. And the stone energy is Rhodochrosite, which is a cellular vitalizer, refresher, renewal stone, designed to help us ground into our root chakra or energy zone, and to get in touch with our body's capacity to regenerate and revive itself daily. And so we want to take that as if it were a vitamin, and we want to feel the nutrients being synthesized and assimilated into our bloodstream. And then I'm going to pull back the stone a little bit. Invite you back into your breathing, because this is just a taste. And from a more grounded place, we're going to come back into community. I'm going to open my eyes shortly. And you can too. All right. So that feels like it sort of blisses me out, chills me out, calms me down. If you see in the chat, there's a beautiful link there that leads you to registration for next week's meditation. We go in further. I have been doing one and multi-stone meditations in which I explore first that kind of biomed, I call it, which is that first step of getting into yourself. And then we bring a stone in to take our practice to a different level. So if that's something that interests you, I definitely recommend clicking on that link or returning to it later. I'm going to also be emailing everybody on my talk show list to join me for that meditation next Tuesday. It's Tuesday the 21st. So now, a little bit more show and tell. As some of you know, I like to take outstanding stones and send them to my exclusive wire wrapper. And I've been sending things out almost weekly lately because I've been getting custom orders, and every time I get one custom order, I throw in a few other pieces that I think will look good as pendants. So I'm going to show you, I'm really motivated to show you this one first. Anybody hazard a guess as to what this stuff is? You'll notice it's wrapped quite wonderfully. Nice solid top there. And then this fanciful little rope across the front. It's very, very cool and different. I'm not seeing anybody's guesses coming in, so I'm going to reveal what it is. Oh, Barbara got in. Thank goodness. I was worried. Just so you know, everybody, if I can respond to a text or an SOS from you because you're having trouble getting onto the broadcast, after the broadcast starts, it's kind of impossible for me to do anything about, texting people back or emailing them back. The good news is we always record our broadcasts and you can see them again later. So here we go. That's the Fuchsite. Very sweet piece. Another one, another pair actually that I find pretty mind-blowing are these. So this is a Chrysanthemum Stone. It's from China. It's a natural sort of explosive crystal happening inside of the black stone around it. And when they cut it, they reveal these incredible starbursts. Barbara guessed that the previous stone was zoisite, which Maria guessed correctly. No, it's Fuchsite. Wait, hold up. Yeah, it is Fuchsite. It looks like zoisite because it's a little glittery, but zoisite has a lot of black in it, and Fuchsite is, especially in this gemmier quality, kind of glistening and green. But anyway, I wanted to turn you on to these wonderful, wonderful pendants. I have some that are less fabulous that I'm selling just as the stone that's been drilled, but these pendants are going to fetch something a little more meaningful because they're so incredibly visually stunning. So here we go. This is an unusual piece, and it's hard to know exactly what it is. I'm also going to let you know this is a Calcified Septarian. So a septarian is a nodule or a little pocket that has been filled with liquid calcite. It breaks up, and so the rough geode material gets filled with calcite, and then they cut it, and in this case you get these amazing textures and turns and curves. It's very, very beautiful stuff. Yeah, total Septarian, Barbara. So that's kind of sweet and also very nicely wrapped. So every talk show, I'm going to show you just a few pendants just to generate some interest and also share my excitement. This one is called Apache Gold. And what this was originally was a larger piece or sheet of it. And I had my guy cut it so he could make two pendants. And this different type of bale style at the top is really nice. Still with the gorgeous banding around the side, protection at the bottom. And that's the back, so it's not as shiny. You could wear it that way, but that's the fancier side. All good stuff. And then last but not least, I'm super proud of this. So you see, this is a little Herkimer with a little baby on top of it. It's got an actual smaller Herkimer stuck to the bigger one. And I had my guy wrap it. And it's just an amazing little pendant. If you like Herkimers, this is where it's at. Really, really a stunner of a piece. You can see there, it sticks out where that little second piece is at. So I'm very excited about this and about those other pendants. And yeah, the wire wrap is a great match for them. Thanks, Alyssa. Now, I wanted to move into some other show and tell items. If anybody has any questions in general about crystals or about the programs and offerings that I have, feel free to chime in here. Like I said before, if I can't answer right now, I will definitely be going back through the Q&A to answer these questions later. Now, my next show and tell is something very earthy groundy. This is dinosaur bone, but it's dinosaur bone that has been petrified the way that petrified wood gets petrified. But because the cellular structure of an animal bone is different than that of a tree, you end up with the possibility of creating what is called gem bone. So look at that right there. It's called gem bone because it's incredibly gorgeous and rich in color, and it has all those that sort of bone marrow look, those little pockets of bone marrow where the quartz has gotten in and solidified and petrified. And it also has really great texture out here. I'm particularly partial, and it's probably the most valuable type of it, to get it red like this. But I wanted to show you, that's an American dinosaur bone. Excuse my cough there. This here is a Madagascar gem bone of a dinosaur. So you can see it's got incredible fissures and detail from the bone marrow of a dinosaur over 60 million years ago. Very cool and very unusual, and also not red. So the dinosaur gem bone colors span the same type of spectrum that petrified wood will span, from black to white to red. Sometimes you even get unusual blues, and you get some greens when there's a lot of copper that gets in there. So that sort of inspires me. I have a blue one, but I wanted to show you this piece here. So this thing that looks like the inside of your stomach, it could be a convincing anatomical reproduction for people to use in medical school. But in fact, what it is instead is agatized coral. So the coral gets also filled with quartz. The way, in a different way, it's called more agate than quartz. but it's still a quartz, and it still has that chalcedony, agate, bubbly look to it. And this comes from Florida. They root around at the bottom of streams and dig this stuff up, and then they cut it open and see what's inside. And it's often very cool, just like this one was. What else am I missing? I want to make sure that I'm not forgetting. There was a couple of things more I wanted to say about the book. When I did meet with the designer formatter, because originally it was going to be only the original was going to be, I was just going to have it edited and then formatted. And then the formatter realized that she was in over her head, because I'm going to have as many as 200 photographs in this book. So she pushed me over to somebody else who is more of a graphic designer and comfortable and excited about integrating the book and text portion in with a bunch of photographs. And so we've decided the format is likely to be a big square, 8.5 inches by 8.5. So a little smaller than your standard coffee table book. It's going to be a soft cover, but it's going to have some incredibly gorgeous photographs. And just today also, I met with my photographer and building on my already 80 plus photographs, super high quality, high resolution photographs. We took another 40 today and are probably going to take another 20 in August. So you can look forward to some really incredible images that I'll be posting online, but that will also be included in this book. So show and tell item. Here's another one. And I'm thinking I may have shown you this at some point in the past, maybe on another show. It's quite intricate and fabulous. And I've been torn between calling it mystery agate and mystery carnelian. I think probably it has to be agate simply because of the complexity of the patterns. Carnelian can be bubbly and sort of biological looking, but it's not as finely detailed as this. Look at that. That's just outrageous. I'm going to be taking this to my photographer friend, and we're going to be photographing this because this needs to be in the book. Now, 2 more things. Oh gosh, I have 3 more things. I hope nobody's getting bored and that I'm not showing you new enough stuff to be of interest. Maybe or maybe not a while ago, I showed you some sort of anatomically correct carved yonis that that some people have really appreciated my carrying. You may have noticed at some crystal stores or shows that they have these giant crystal phalluses that they've carved, and it seems a little, I don't know, inappropriate. So I don't carry them in my store, but because we have so many women customers, I thought it would be appropriate, and I asked around to women if they thought it was appropriate. And so we brought in some Yoni stones that are gorgeous. And if you're interested in those, maybe either make a comment or send me a message. I'll be happy to show them to you. I have some sort of Yoni worry stone combination stones. Really, they're just worry stones that have been cut in a more diagonal form. And so you see they're kind of sweet like that. There we go. You get to see the lines and the shape. Very nice stuff. This is lapis. And this over here is like infinite, which is a type of serpentine. And it's actually a softer yellow. What you see there looks very limey and green, but it's actually a softer yellow. Very nice stuff. So I just wanted to share those because I had misplaced that flat and I was excited to find it again. Over here, we have something very fine, and that is a fluorite. This is a piece of fluorite that's been cut like this in order to, it fits into a wooden stand. The stand, of course, fell off it when I picked it up because it just sort of sits in there. It's not glued in there. And you see over on this side, you've got lavender fluorite. And over on this side, you have a bit of greenish fluorite, very soft colored. And it's actually prettier to me behind the light. I have a big spotlight coming on to me because I find that that's the best way to show you stones is when you're in really high light. In low light, you lose detail and it's too bad. So this thing here is gorgeous. What I like about the lavender fluorite, and it's pretty hard to come by, is that it's a fluorite that's not associated with spirit. It's a fluorite that's associated with healing and with the nervous system and calming and cooling you down emotionally. So if I'm working with someone individually in a crystal one-on-one session, I will often give them a piece of lavender fluorite first to sort of bring them in from the cold and sort of calm their nerves automatically. It's a great tool, and these are great sort of visual, awesome display pieces if you go in for that sort of thing. So if people don't have questions, remember, this is a live Q&A. This is like office hours with Kyle. If there's anything you've been thinking about or worrying about or wondering about, this is a great time to talk to me. Put your comment or question into the chat box because we have just a few more minutes left. My last item, my last show and tell is hanging out over here. There's actually two stones. And I'm going to, ooh, I got a question. Thank you. I love those. What type of stone would you think will help with chronic anxiety, as I have that? Just don't know if there's one I should buy to help me. Well, there's a number of stones. I don't know if I've made an explicitly anxiety and stress oriented YouTube video. I'm going to double check. If you have not seen my YouTube channel, I strongly recommend you visit it. It's the same company name. It's Crystal Concentrics. That's the name of the channel. You go there, take advantage of the fact that I have created playlists. And there are two playlists that I want to really recommend you check out. One is the one called Crystal Philosophies. And the other is my superlatives, top 5 and 10. So that's where I would want to have the top 5 stones for stress and anxiety. And if it's not there and I haven't made it, I promise you I will make that video. But for now, since we're all together live, I'm going to tell you that for me, and I'm not going to get into the reasons why, because that's a longer story. And in my Crystals360 group, we just had a curriculum class about the heart energy zone. And I spoke about the 10 stones that fed into that energy zone. Zone. And some of them are definitely stress relieving. Two that I'll tell you about now are Smoky Quartz and Jade. The lavender fluorite is highly recommended. If you go in for more blues, angelite can be really nice. Turquoise can also be very nice, even though those are not heart stones. They're more healing and voice stones. But when it comes to tackling any type of condition like stress and anxiety, it really makes the most sense to tackle it from a few different angles. And those are the types of stones that I think produce the most immediate effects in terms of bringing down your blood pressure. I'm going to have a little sip here. So thanks for that question. I'm working with this Crystals360 group to create a curriculum that you will be able to buy into and study through, like a set number of videos that you go through for your learning process at your own pace, however fast or slow you want to do it. Oh, so that YouTube link is probably one of the videos. I'm not sure what the name of the video is. Usually Facebook will populate the name of the video. If we're lucky, our friend Bill at Crystal Concentrics will populate the name of that video for you. So I had said we have one last thing to show you, and it's partly inspired by this one. So you can see that this is glittery and beautiful. It's an unusual crystal formation that comes from China, and it has been treated. So this is the original color, a white. And then as you get towards the front, you see this lavender, and I call it lavender aura. And the aura quartzes have been plated with precious metals to change their color into a sort of iridescent, sort of almost artificial, glowy, rainbowy, titanium-y color scheme. And you've got champagne aura, you've got rose aura, aqua aura, which is gold, that's a pale blue. And this one I've never really seen anywhere else except right here in this particular piece. And once I sell this piece, it won't exist anymore because most of the colors they use are more predictable and common. But what's nice about it is that it does have that glitter, and it is an aura quartz. And the aura quartzes, it's a little hard to tell with this light, but they tend to sparkle in some rainbow colors. So I'm going to show you something that you probably have not seen, and this is a natural rainbow quartz. And I'm moving it around in hopes that you will see any color. Oh, there you go. There you go. You see little reds in there? That's pretty cool. It's like an opal meets a quartz. Very wonderful stuff and very natural. It is not something that you will find out there at any stores that I've been to. And I've stockpiled a few pieces of it because it's awesome and rare and natural. So whereas the aura quartzes are very disembodied, their energy has been modified, so they no longer really hold the original. Oh, nice. There's a playlist. Cool. So yeah, and folks, feel free to come back to this and cut and paste any of those links. Go check them out. So these are a little bit disembodied, whereas this is like the real deal rainbow wonderfulness. So I'm pretty happy about this, and I'll be on the lookout for more, but nobody is banging down my door to get a piece of it because they've never heard of it before. And that's part of why I do these talk shows, because they're so informative and educational, and people get turned on to things that they would not otherwise know about. So that is it for my show and tell for tonight. I think I've covered all the ground. I want to remind you to please consider joining us for the meditation. If you've never done them, you could write me and I could send you a sample shorter meditation. You also experienced one earlier tonight, so that should give you a good sense, a little bit of where we go in terms of inward self biology, and then introducing a stone into that situation in order to explore a very specific theme. So, Lucas, I am so sorry that you missed the earlier parts of the video, but the good news is the replay is live as soon as we're done, and you can catch the parts that you missed. I'm also going to be uploading this to YouTube, so if you're a YouTube subscriber of mine, you'll see it there as well. And that's not a problem. Even if you have trouble getting on live like Barbara did earlier, if you don't figure it out, you can check out the replay. So thank you, everybody. If you do have any questions, you can write me, Kyle@crystalconcentrics.com. I love hearing from you, and we look forward to meeting you again, definitely in August, probably 3 weeks from now. And we'll also be scheduling a meditation in August, and I hope that you'll join me for next Tuesday's meditation. That's on the 21st. So thank you, Lucas. Thanks, Alyssa. Thanks, everybody who came and joined us tonight. I will be connecting with you again real soon watch for my announcements, and take care. Be well. Till soon. I'm gonna say goodbye and stop streaming, and thank you all for joining me. Much appreciate your company.